An Australian senator has been caught up in electoral reform protests in Kuala Lumpur. Nick Xenophon was among the crowds when police fired tear gas and chemical-laced water at demonstrators. The senator is on a fact-finding mission on election processes in Malaysia. And he joins us now on the line from Kuala Lumpur. Nick Xenophon, thanks very much for taking the time to talk to us. Tell us, what was the atmosphere like when the police started firing the tear gas into the protest?
Actually, this is the strange thing. The atmosphere was quite good in that the crowd was well behaved. I was walking with Anwar Ibrahim, the opposition leader, for a while. I was hearing him speak. I moved away from that. And then the tear gas canisters started raining down on the crowd. 200,000 T-shirts for Bersih, which stands for clean, as in wanting clean elections in Malaysia, were sold. The crowd's been estimated up to 250,000, but it was much bigger than last year's crowd of 100,000. And the tear gas canisters initially were about 20 to 30 metres away from me. That caused a lot of panic in the crowd. And I don't know if you've ever been tear gassed. It was my first time, but your face, and your eyes start burning, your throat starts burning, your lungs start burning, and you want to get the hell out of there. And that's the whole idea of it.
How are you recovering?
Look, I'm not too bad. I mean, some others in our party, and it's a group of, it's a delegation of a fact-finding mission from people from Pakistan, from India, from the Philippines, and from Germany to look at the election processes in Malaysia, which are due any time now. You know, a bit worse for wear, but I was nowhere near as bad as some of the people I saw there. People were writhing on the ground, people were vomiting as a result of exposures to tear gas, and it just seemed incessant and unnecessary. I managed to catch up with one of Anwar's children, Anwar, who's 22 years old. She told me that she was cornered in a laneway. The crowd had already dispersed. The police saw her, and she believes they recognised her because the family is well known in Malaysia, and they fired a tear gas canister at her, which seemed to be totally unnecessary. So it's pretty rough stuff, and I guess there's a broader issue here. Malaysia is one of our closest neighbours and friends. I think the Australian government has actually been quite mute in terms of human rights issues, in terms of the issues of democracy and fair elections here. And I wonder whether that's because of the refugee swap deal that the Australian government entered into with the Malaysian government last year.
Yes, Kevin Rudd said several years ago when he was Prime Minister that Malaysia has a vibrant democracy. How would you describe it?
Well, I'm not sure where Kevin Rudd gets that from. That is completely wrong. There are very serious concerns here about this. Now, let me paint the picture. It's the biggest demonstration, as I understand it, in Malaysia's history. 200,000, 250,000 people gathered in the centre of Kuala Lumpur. They weren't allowed to go to the square because there was 3 kilometres of barbed wire to where they wanted to go to prevent Anwar from addressing the entire crowd. You have a situation where the media, and I watched the TV news site on TV1, the national broadcaster, there was 30 seconds worth of coverage saying that there was going to be a demonstration, no coverage of the tear gassing, and then there was an even longer item on the Prime Minister in Sabah, an outlying state of Malaysia, having a cup of tea and banana fritters, and that seemed to get more coverage than the zero coverage of one of the biggest demonstrations in Malaysia's history.